got a lot of stuff that I want to keep it real about, but I'm just going to keep it real about one thing today. And it was off of a clip that has been circulating on the internet about what Steve Harvey feels like is going wrong with the younger generation of men and what women should bring to a relationship or marriage. So let's play this clip really quick, and we're going to get into it, discuss what we think about this clip, and if Steve Harvey is right in the information or advice he is giving the younger generation.
See, these dudes kill me. That's what's wrong with this generation today. These young boys today, what do she bring to the table? The hell you mean, man? What do your ass bring to the table? You got a woman that can come to the table that can make another you. What else she need to slide up to the table with? What about your job? What happened to men who were supposed to be responsible? Do you know that it's our job to take care of a woman and some children, to have a family? That's our damn job.
So I'm going to let you go first, Asha. What are your thoughts about what Steve Harvey says? Because I just go over what I left in the comment section first, and then I'll let you give your thoughts. What I had said in the comment section is this type of advice is divisive, right? Because I don't think that I think the issue is that us young couples, we don't get enough wisdom from the older generation that can help us learn how to have healthy and long-lasting relationships. We get sound bites like this, and although I get this is a clip, and he may have gone more in depth on this topic, I don't know how you recover from making a statement like that. So I said that in the comment section, and I said that I don't know of any other wife, like an actual wife, who would water down their role as a wife to they just bring babies to the table. Right. So what, as a wife, what are your thoughts on what he said? And then I'll go more in depth on my thoughts.
So for one, I feel like nowadays a lot of people on social media, like, they make statements almost to be like clickbait comments, right? Yeah. Or statements where it's like, oh, this is just like something to get your attention and get people riled up, right? And I think even with saying that in a conversation, a lot of times I feel like the way we bring certain topics to the table to discuss is kind of like off-putting in a sense, right? Because in general, just to ask someone, oh, well, what are you bringing to the table? I feel like it comes off like aggressive and negative. I agree. And it's like, well, why can't we shift the conversation? Like, I feel like a lot of times we hear on social media, all social media, this narrative where it's just like, we gotta be like searching from this person, and we gotta be so demanding, and we gotta be so aggressive, and just like, roar. Like, you know, like, why does it have to be like that? Why can't we just be like, you know what, well, what is it, you know, that if you can, what are you offering, or what can you offer, what can I offer you? Why can't we change the narrative? Because if you saying, well, what are you bringing to the table? I'm looking at you like, check please. Like, can we just ask more in-depth questions?
You asking for the check because you're going to pay for it, you expecting the man to pay for it.
Listen, I'll pay for it if I need to pay for it, but I feel like that's where the conversation needs to go deeper. Yeah. Because just asking, well, what are you bringing to the table? Is just like, okay, well, let's ask some more deeper questions. Let's get let's get beneath the surface. Right, beneath the surface of just saying, well, what can you offer me, or what can I offer you? Always got a plug, y'all. But no, I think that's first where the conversation needs to start. Man. I feel like with saying, oh, well, you can have some, basically like, oh, you're having some babies and that's like all you have to do. Yeah. I think that's not the case, because although, yes, it has been designed for us to create life and bring children into this world, that's not all we're here for. Right. And for you to have the mindset like, oh, well, I did enough. I had your kids. I don't have to do nothing else, but you need to do A, B, C, and D. Yeah. Like, no, we're here to be able to help each other out. Both. Right. Yeah. We're here to, it's a role and a position that I play and a role and position that you play, that if we both not playing together, it's not going to work. Yeah. It doesn't, oh, I have children, I put my feet up and that's all I have to do. Now you get to work. Yeah. That's not how things run. And I think with people having that mindset, even seeing some of the comments like, oh, why do I have to, tend to the house and cook for him and do this and this, that, and the third. Y'all looking for, and we can go deep, right?
Yeah.
But y'all are looking, not all, but some, because we see these videos, like I said, a lot of videos where people trying to stir up stuff to go viral, where it's like you're looking for this high value person. You're looking for a man to take care of you. You don't want to have to work. You don't want to have to do this, that, and the third. But it's like, but I'm not going to cook for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to take care of these kids. I'm going to have the kids, but I don't need to do nothing else.
Right.
I don't need to clean the house. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. But you'll have to go down a list of things that the man needs to do.
Right.
And I think that's very problematic.
Y'all see why I married her, fellas? Continue on.
It's problematic because, like I said, there's our roles that we're both playing. Now, from house to house, the roles may change. You know, for some people, the man may be home taking care of certain responsibilities. The woman may be out working. I don't know what's fitting your house and your position, whatever you're in. But there are roles that we're playing so that it benefits our household together. We're not trying to make sure that one is higher than the other. We're trying to make sure that we're both working together for the common benefit of our household. And I think that's what the problem is where people try to say, well, you know what? I have this like role that's up here and you need to be reaching this level. I can't even talk. This level of what I'm expecting of you while I'm down here and I don't need to do much.
Yeah. I mean, I think roles are really important because it helps define things. Like in a team, like it helps define like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing so that we can execute at the highest level? Right. Roles are not meant to say, this is what you have to do and you can't do nothing else but this. Right? Because even when, as far as a man, like there's certain roles that you have, if I have time, I help out with those roles. I don't just say, nah, that ain't my responsibility to do that. I'm going to leave it to her. Like we both help each other out, but defining what roles that we have allow us to really work effectively as a team. And you touched on a lot of the women who were saying, I'm not doing this. I'm not domesticated. I'm not cooking. I'm not clean. I saw those comments too. But the interesting thing about those comments is when I clicked on those profiles, I didn't see married to such and such in their bio. I didn't see them in a relationship. Yeah. And I think that type of thought process is hurting a lot of women for getting into relationships. And when you have people of Steve Harvey's stature saying something like that, you're only reinforcing those beliefs in these women's mind that the only thing they have to bring to a relationship is just producing babies. Right. Because you also have to be able to sustain those babies, as you talked about earlier. And this is no disrespect towards Steve, right? But my question for him would be, if the only thing women have to bring to the table is the ability to have kids, number one, why are you on your third marriage? Because your two wives before that birthed your children. So why wasn't that enough to sustain the marriage so that now that you're on your third marriage? And again, this is no shot. This is just questions that I would have for him. And I don't want to hear, oh, I was young, I was trying to find myself, I was 25, this, that, and the third, because that's not a good excuse. Like, we went through some crazy times when we were young. I know Leah got diagnosed with cancer and I had to step up to the plate. I had to grow up fast and mature as a man to take care of my responsibilities. We went through identity crisis after that. When I retired from the NFL, you walked away from hair. Like, we didn't just go off on our own and try to find ourselves. Like, we held together and figured things out. So being young is not an excuse when you take on that responsibility of getting married, not once, but twice. The second question I would have for him is, you don't have any biological children with your now wife. So her ability to have kids wasn't the reason why you decided to marry her. So what were the quality and characteristics that you saw in her that made you say, I can build a life with this woman? I feel like that's what you should be sharing with the younger generation, because that's important. When you water it down to what else does she have to bring to the table, there's a lot that a wife should have to bring to a table, just like there's a lot that a husband has to bring to the table. That's like a man saying, as long as I provide financially, I don't have to do anything else. Right. That don't make any sense. Because you have to be able to create that emotional safe space for your woman. You have to be able to provide that guidance, that sense of security, that love and affection, that softness. So there's a lot that men have to bring to a table. So for you to say that a woman can create another you, and that's what else does she have to do? That doesn't make any sense, because you don't have to be a wife to have kids. Me and you talked earlier, 13-year-olds can have kids. So like it's a beautiful gift. It's a beautiful thing that women are able to create children, but it's not enough to sustain a relationship. And until we are getting that type of wisdom from the older generation, we're going to continue to struggle, because now y'all leaving it up to us to just go out here and figure it out on our own.